Sean Maguire of Preston North End. Photo, Sportsfile. With more than 50 registered Irish players in the Championship, and a further 70+ in Leagues 1 and 2, Republic of Ireland manager Martin O'Neill and his staff will have more than a passing interest in the resumption of hostilities in the English Football League on Friday night. But then the battle for promotion to the Premier League, and the access to the seam of riches that it can bring to clubs, some of whom have been starved of top-flight football for more than a decade, has always been fascinating. And as more cash filters down the leagues, and clubs grow increasingly desperate, this season could be one of the most open races ever. With the 3 relegated clubs coming to terms with the drop in different ways, and, depending on your take, established Championship clubs still in states of flux or development, no outstanding favourites have emerged from pre-season sales. For now, the bookies are backing Stoke City and Middlesbrough. At the turn of the year, Stoke were close to pinning their Premier League survival hopes on Ireland's manager and his assistant, Roy Keane. Since relegation under Paul Lambert, and his departure, they have been spending serious amounts under new boss Gary Rowett. Ireland winger James McLean is among the new recruits, but is certainly not the most expensive. Derby County's new manager Frank Lampard, who will be joined on the bench by his new goalkeeping coach Shay Given, will take his team to Reading for the Sky Cameras season opener on Friday. His opposite number Paul Clement, like Lampard only in the job a few months, could have 6 Irish players in his side, including new signings John O'Shea and David Myler. Lampard and Given have relinquished promising stars as TV pundits to join a club who have now been absent from the Premier League for 10 seasons. Like many of the grounds in this division, Pride Park is still a shiny stadium, built on the edge of the city to replace the crumbling baseball ground. It has not always been full or friendly over the last decade. The Championship is scattered with clubs, including 2 former European champions, who have been deprived a seat at the top table for too long and whose owners have employed managers of varying experience and nationalities, often for no longer than a few months. Nothing sums up the unpredictability of the second tier better than Reading, where 5 Irishmen, and Liam Kelly, will be hoping to play a significant role this season. The Berkshire club were relegated from the top flight after one season 5 years ago. They finished 3rd 2 years ago under Jaap Stam and sacked him after they narrowly avoided relegation last season. New man Clement, still to find the club where he can live up to his reputation, wants to make the playoffs. Sheffield United manager Chris Wilder has taken New Ireland centre-back John Egan from Brentford and signed David McGoldrick on a free from Ipswich after an impressive summer trial as he aims to build on last season's 10th place. The newly promoted Blades were in the top 6 for most of the campaign, but any hopes of back-to-back promotions foundered after the turn of the year. Having sold promising youngster David Brooks to Bournemouth in an £11.5 million deal, Wilder has filled the gaps in his energetic young squad. The biggest Irish contingent is, of course, at Preston North End, where Graham Burke has joined 9 players in Alex Neil's squad. Burke will be hoping to join Alan Brown, Sean Maguire and Callum Robinson as starters, or regular substitute Daryl Horgan. Adam O'Reilly is only 17 and Andy Boyle, Kevin O'Connor and Owen Doyle all went out on loan. There are some new Irish faces in the Championship. New Ireland pair Darren Williams and Darragh Lenihan make the step up the divisions with Tony Mowbray's Blackburn Rovers, while O'Neill's goalkeeping coach Seamus McDonough will be keeping an eye on Jack Bonham, who has returned to Brentford after an excellent season on loan at Carlisle United. The Rotherham United squad, promoted via the playoffs, includes Anthony Ford and former Wolves and Ireland midfielder Darren Potter, who is now 33 and missed the second half of last season. Ford, 24, from Ballingarry AFC in Limerick, played briefly for Wolves in the Premier League 7 years ago, and was an ever-present for Paul Warne's Rotherham last season. Stability is rare in this division. Even Middlesbrough chairman Steve Gibson, a loyal backer rather than a sacker, fired Gary Monk within months and appointed Tony Pulis when he became available. Although he has only added Paddy McNair to the team which lost in the playoffs, it is difficult not to back Pullis to replicate the promotion he won with Stoke City. His former club may be narrow favourites, but Boro's former boss Aitor Karanka has spent well for Nottingham Forest and matches their ambitions, while West Bromwich Albion will be hoping Darren Moore's appointment after relegation is inspirational as well as wise. There are intriguing stories at so many championship clubs. Marcelo Bielsa's appointment at Leeds United, Aston Villa's chaotic summer and abysmal treatment of Steve Bruce, Graham Potter's arrival, Ipswich Town without Mick McCarthy. A championship without Mick McCarthy. Only Wigan, Swansea and West Norwich have no Irish players in their squad. Not all 51 will play every week, but plenty will be involved, with the added bonus for O'Neill & co that they will have plenty to savour in the months ahead. Sunday Indo Sport.